Hello fellow teachers, I'm back with another tutorial using AutoCAD to generate a lesson plan via Google Forms. Let's make planning easy. Alright, we're going to take it from here, then go here, and then end up with this. Let's go. Let's get started. So the first thing you would want to do is create your template. And to do this, you want to open up your Google Doc and set up this template, this document, how you want it to look as an end result. So here I take time to type in a header that I would want on every single one of these documents. Now that our header is nicely done, we're going to go ahead and move on to the body of the cover page of the lesson plan template. And so here I utilize a Blackboard configuration where it basically lets students know what is the topic, what is the aim, what's to do now, and homework assignments. And within that, I also include the next generation learning standards, as well as materials that I'll need for this lesson plan to be successful. So once again, I'm going to fast forward so that you can see all the magic in under 1 second. And just the finishing touches, voila. Then we move into the planning and preparation part of the template. And this is where the co-teacher comes in very handy because you would need to collaborate with that teacher so that you all are on the same page. Very important as we head into COVID-19 reopening, right? Socio-emotional learning is integral in the education of the entire child. So we have skills and concept, remedy or intervention, co-teaching model and rationale, grouping strategies and rationale, and then you'll see that I start to play around with the tables a little bit. Then I make the fonts a little bit bigger, especially the heading portions. And as I wrap up the cover page to the template, you'll notice that all of the areas that I would want the form to communicate with and populate, I'm putting those like brackets around the language so that I'm able to make sure that the form can communicate properly with the actual document. So here again, I'm just doing some adjustments to make sure that it looks really solid and clean. And then the next step is the lesson development portion. And so this is where your warm up, your mini lesson, independent work time or group work time, and then the summary of your lesson will be populated. Notice that I'm copying and pasting the SEL because I want it to show up in the same place, or a different place, excuse me. So if you want something to show up multiple times, you will name it the same thing. And so when you fill out your form, you will just have to fill out that category once and it will populate the document multiple times. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward to the end so you could see this document in its entirety. And here we are at the wrap up. All right, and so if you notice, there are some things on the right hand side that's already pre-populated because I don't think those things will change. I could add to them, but they will not necessarily change And some of those things that are pre-populated is exactly during independent practice, for example, what teachers will be doing, and during the mini lesson, what are students doing, because that doesn't necessarily change, but additional questions and or pieces of information may be changed. And then we go into the fun part, right? Now we are going to our Google Drive and we're going to open up a form, and we're going to start to create questions that are aligned to the document so that when we fill out this form, it is able to populate the document accurately through an app called Autocrat. You want to add the year if you want to keep this going for some time. And so the unit number, and so this is very important because you want to make sure that, you know, whatever you put on the document is aligned to the form, because then you'll have a lot of errors that will come up and it'll be challenging to kind of figure that out. All right, so let's fast forward to see what this looks like. And here you have it. I'm up to the wrap up duration time of the lesson plan form. And so you want to make sure that this information is, again, aligned to what is on the document, right? There are several sections. This is the first section. There are 5 sections. And I want to go ahead and set the parameters for my form. So here, just setting, you want to make sure that they could edit after they submit. And then let's see what happens. So after you've created your form, you want to go to the Excel version of your spreadsheet. You want to create a new sheet, because then you could always add to this if you have something next year or whatnot. That is the app that we're going to use to have the documents talk to each other. So I want to name my merge job. So that's what I'm going to do now. And after you name your merge job, everything else is kind of self-explanatory. Now it's fetching tags. And when it fetches the tag, what it does is that it's communicating with the document so that it can make sure that whenever the form is filled out, all of the fields will be filled out appropriately. And here I am at the end, and now you have the option to, this is step 4, you have the option to name the file. Make sure that you grab the tags from the list, because if they're off with a space or an extra bracket, it will not pick it up, right? And so that will create an issue or an error in the Autocrat communicating with the actual document. All right. So I'm naming this with a date. I want the date to be populated for me, the unit number. And then you want to choose a destination. You could choose your drive, or you could create a folder. Especially, you would want to create the folder first. And this is the most important part, in my opinion, because this is where the sharing of the document comes in. As soon as you're finished populating the form, it spits out the document and it's able to share the document with you and anyone else that you add on the email list. And you could have a generic message that goes out to the teacher. So the date, the lesson. So it would be 828 lesson plan is ready to view. And then I could type a personalized message letting my co-teacher know, hey, this lesson plan is ready for your review. Please create modifications for our students. And once you do that and put in who you're sending it to, and always copy yourself, what will happen is that, I misspelled identify again, diverse, there we go. What will happen is that it will generate this automatically. As soon as this form is complete, the document goes to the person and then they're able to review it thoroughly and then add in any modifications or adaptations that they need to add in to support learners. So notice on the top, I put in the tag for the co-teacher email. So you want to make sure that anything that you put here with a bracket, you want to make sure that it's replicated in the form. So that's it. My job has been created. Let's take a look at the magic. Be right back. So now that that's finished, this is the form, and I'm going to go ahead and populate the form. Fast forward, that's cool. I'm finished with the form. Let's see what this looks like. So if you notice that second row is populated with all of my responses. And so I'm waiting for it to merge with the document. There it goes, magical. And then when I click on this document, I'll be able to see my populated lesson plan ready to go, already shared with my co-teacher. And here it goes. There it is. With the use of AutoCrat, I was able to create a template, create a form, have AutoCrat communicate with two of these documents, and then here it is. I'm able to now edit my lesson plan to suit my needs. If you notice, the heading is appropriately tagged. It has a date, the unit number, and then the grade is there as well. And this is the email that the teacher would have received. When she clicks on the document, it will open up just like it did for us, and then they could always make adjustments, add adaptations and or modifications to the lesson plan, and there you have it. You've collaborated in a very digital way, and you could also use this for students.